Hello, my beautiful people. I hope we are all doing great. Welcome back once again to Witter's Fashion TV. In today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to make these beautiful palazzo pants with fitted waist and side frills, gathers by the side. If today is your first time of joining us on this channel, you're so very welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your time with us. I really appreciate. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Thank you. So let's get straight into the tutorial. So guys, the first thing to do is to fold our fabric. And to fold this fabric, I've taken my measurement, the hip measurement divided by 4, plus my flap, the measurement I need for my flap extension, and 1 inch I will need for the side joining. So in all I need is 16 inches, and that's what I'll be marking out on this place. So after folding, the next thing is to take my trousers length. So the length I'll be using for this trousers is 43, plus my allowance for folding, everything that I need is 43. So that's what I'm marking out here. 43 inches. So that's what I'm marking on this down part, the full length of the trousers. So I'll connect it out. So from here now is what we need for this our trouser. So the first thing to mark out, because this is going to be a fitted waist trousers, it's not elastic, it's going to be having band. So the first thing I'll be marking out is my 1 inch for sewing allowance at this side. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. I'll mark out my 1 inch for sewing allowance at this part. I'll mark it all the way to the full length of the trousers. So I'll use my ruler and connect them together. Like I said, I marked the 1 inch to the full length of the cloth. So this is where the full length of my trousers end. So I marked the 1 inch to that place. So the next thing now is to work on this place. So the next line I'm going to be marking out is the hip measurement divided by 4. Like I told us, I'm using hip 48. 48 divided by 4 will give us 12 inches. So I'll go ahead equally and mark these 12 inches all the way down to the full length as well. Having marked out the 2 basic lines that I need, so the next thing is to mark where my flap will fall. Standard for marking flap is still your hip measurement divided by 4. So my hip measurement divided by 4 is 12 inches. I will mark exactly these 12 inches because I'll still have band here, and I'm cutting my front and my back separately, so I'm not adding any extra. So I'll mark exactly my 12 inches. Then I will mark my 3 inches that I need for flap extension this way. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Then I'll bring down the 12 inches on that part. I'll mark it and then I'll connect the lines. So I have my line for joining, I have my hip measurement divided by 4, and then I have my flap line. So having gotten all this, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to still divide this line into 2, especially on this waist part, because this is going to be a fitted pant, so that I can get her exact waist measurement on this part. So I'll go ahead and divide it into 2 on this part, and I will have 6 inches. So I'll connect this line together. So her waist measurement is 40 divided by 4 will give us 10. So since 40 divided by 10, 4 will give us 10. So 10, I will mark my 10 here. So I'll place my tape. 10 divided by 2 will give us 5. So my tape will be on 5 on this line, in this middle line. My tape will be on 5 exactly. Then I'll go ahead and mark wherever it ends here, and then I'll come to this other part. I'll mark on the 10. So by the time I measure from this point to this point, I'll have exactly the 10 inches that I need for her waist. So having done this, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to curve this part, because this connection is going to go back straight to this point. I hope you're seeing this place very well. It's going to go back to this point. So to curve this area, I will just come up from this place by 2 inches. You can use 1.5, but I'm using 2 because of the size of the hip. So I'll use my armhole curve to connect it this way. So this is the shape I will have on that part. So having connected this place, so this is my waist that I have drawn out already. I have this my 10. Remember I said this is a fitted waist, so that's why I got the middle of her hip divided by 2, so that our shape will come out very well. And I go ahead to mark my 10 from that middle, placing my tape on 5 inches. So I go 5 this way, I go 5 this way, thereby I'll have my 10 inches on the waist. So I'll from here now connect back to this point that makes the waist 10 inches. So I'll connect from this point now to this point. Then on this part, I'll go down by 9 inches, which is the standard we use for hip. Then from this 1 inch here, I'll still connect back to this point. So I'll pull my tape, my ruler this way. I'll connect from this my 9 inches hip back to this point. So can you see the shape that we are having? This is how you cut fitted pants. It's different from a palazzo pants. So having gotten this, the next thing now is to go ahead and replace my 1 inch on this part till I get to this hip part. So I'll go ahead and replace my 1 inch. 1 inch on this part, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, because that's the allowance I left for sewing. 1 inch. So I'll use my ruler and connect them back together. This is very, very important, because if you don't do this back, that means you are adding all this excess back and it will affect the shape of your trousers. So having done this, on this part I will now add half inch for sewing allowance. So I add my half inch back on this part, half inch back on this part, half inch back on this part. This half inch is for sewing allowance, half inch back on this part, and I'll stop here. I'll use my ruler to connect them back. I'll use my ruler to connect them back. Then stop here, and then I'll use my French curve and connect it back to our flap line. So this is what we have there at the end of this. Any sharp edge that you have here, you blunt it out. So this way we are done with this upper part. I hope this my camera is people are seeing what I'm doing very, very well. So this way I'm done with this upper part. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to connect this place to the full length of my trousers. But before I do that, I will measure what I want to have on the hemline, which is the down part of the trousers. So this is the full length of our trousers this way. So what I want to have on this part is 10 inches. So this is more than 10. So what I will do equally is I will divide this by 2 as well, which will give me 6 inches. So this is 12. To have my 10, I'll just remove 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. Then I'll add back my 1 inch for sewing allowance. That means everything will still end on this line. Then on this part, I'll add back my ½ inch for sewing allowance, so it will end on this part. So I'll take my hip curve and connect from this part. I'll take my hip curve and connect from this flap line. I'll be connecting from this flap line down to the hemline. So I'll use my hip curve, I'll place it this way, then I'll connect back to my hemline. So I've connected from here back to my hemline, and then I will equally go ahead and connect from here down to this hemline as well on the down part. Okay, I think this will work. So I'll use this, connect from here down to my hemline as well. So I'm connecting from my hemline down to the hip line. So like this now, our trousers is ready. I've connected from here to the hip, from the hip down to the hemline, and I've connected from this part to the flap line, and I've connected from the flap line down to the hemline too. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to come down on this waist part by 1 inches. So I'll be coming down from this waist part for shaping purposes. I'll just come down from here by 1 inch, but I will not cut it yet until I'm done cutting my back pieces. So I'll connect it this way back to the waistline. So have something like this. So our trousers is ready. The next thing is to go ahead and cut it out. So as you can see, I brought my camera close so that you can really see the drafting. So you can see, so this is our first 1 inch for sewing allowance that we took down all the way down. Then this is the time I divided it into 2 to have my middle to be able to shape it for my waist. So this is the shaping that we have. Then this is our flap line that we now connected back to the hemline. This is our hemline. Then this is that I told us we first of all divide your hip into 2 and get these 2 lines here. That's the hip measurement divided by 4. That's the first line we have. Then this is our flap divided by 20 for the front, and we got 2.5 plus ½ inch sewing allowance. So what I have here is 3 inches like I explained. So it's to go ahead and cut this out and use it to cut our back. I folded another fabric. So to fold for the back, you do the normal way that you did for the front. Your hip measure, but for this one now, your hip measure divided by 10. That will give us 5. Remember, we have 2.5 the other way. So here now we add, all we need to add is extra 2.5. So I folded this. I'll just lay my front piece on it. I'll just lay my front piece on it this way. And then on the upper part, I will add 2 inches, extra 2 inches on this upper part. So I'll mark it down, extra 2 inches on this upper part. So I'll connect it. So it's on this part I will lay this line. That's where this, the beginning of this front will be, exactly on these 2 inches. Because this back will be longer than the front on this upper part. So having done that, the next thing is to mark my 2.5 on this way to be sure that I have up to 2.5 on the flap line. So I have 2.5 on this flap line. I'll mark it down I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. I'll mark it down, then I'll take my ruler and draw out my flat line. So this is the difference between the front and the back. So I've added the extra 2.5 for this back on this place, and then I've gone up by 2 inches on this upper part, on this flap line part. So the next thing to do now is to connect this back to this place, and then connect from here back to our full length, and that's all. Then connect from these 2 inches back to this waistline. So let me do all that. And connect this way. See where I place on that line where the former one stops. That's where I'm putting it. Then I will draw it out to connect back to my line. So that's all I need for that part. Then on the down part, I'll use my hip curve as well to connect from here to the hem line. So this is our hip curve. I'll just place it on this part too and connect back to my hemline. So this is what I should have. And so you have seen what I did. I connected from here down to the full length of the trousers. Then I connected from this place back to this place. Then I'm going to be connecting this one. These 2 inches I added extra up. I'm connecting it back to the waistline. So I'll just draw a line on this part as my extension line of this place. Then I'll connect from there down to this place. So this is how I'm going to be placing my ruler to connect it. So can you see? So this is what you have at the end of the day. From here to here, from here to here, then from here to the full length of the gown. So every other thing is the same. So I'll just follow this line and cut to up this part, then connect back to this place and cut out, and then follow here and cut to the full line. So let's cut it out. That's we have there at the end of the day. You see that the back is longer than the front. Then on this part, the back too is longer than the front. This is how I go. Can you see that? If I remove it, you see that this back too is longer than this front. This is the shape that we have there. So I'll just go ahead and cut out this side. So there we have it. So I'll go and join this to the front part so I can be able to cut out this 1 inch that I came down from. So after doing that, the first thing that we are going to be doing is to join our flap. So I've trimmed the front part. I've trimmed off that 1 inch, like I said. So the next thing I want to be doing before I start joining my trousers is to measure the length of this trouser from this part, so that I can cut the gathers, the frills that we'll have then. So I'll measure from here. So we have 43 inches. So I'll be cutting my frill 43 times 2, at least times 2 or times 3. That's what I'll be using to cut the frill. So I'll cut it and then I'll show us as I'm joining it. So the first thing we are doing on this trouser, like I said, is these two front parts together. We'll go and join it with half-inch sewing allowance. I'll equally do the same on the back side. I'll join it with half-inch sewing allowance. So this is what I need to form my frills, the gathers. I have times 2 of my trouser length here, and the width I'm sewing with is 5.5 inches. That's what I'm using for this trouser. So like I said, this is the trousers, this is the back side. I've joined the flap. This is the flap. I've joined it with half-inch sewing allowance. So this is what we have. This is the front part too. I've joined it with half-inch sewing allowance too, as you can see. I'll join it having chain allowance. So the next thing now is to attach our frills on the side. I've done it, I've gathered it, as you can see. I've gathered it down already. So it's to determine which part of the clothes I want to. So this our frill will be on the left side, of the trouser. So that means it's on this part I'll be attaching it. So I'll go ahead and place it on this part like this. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. I'll place it on this part and hold it down with like 1/4 inch all the way to the hemline. So at the end of the day, we'll have something. So I'm going to attach it first. After attaching it, I'll now join the back part of it like this on it, and then I'll use my 1/2 inch sewing allowance and join the two of them together. I'll do that and come and show us. This is the trousers. Like I told us, I've laid it, 3 of them together, and I've joined it using 1 inch sewing allowance. So this is what we have at the end of the day. Our gathers is in between the 2 trousers. So this is what we have at the end of the day. This is the frame coming out all the way to the down part. So I will equally close it up this way too and join the other side, but I will leave my space. I will leave my allowance for zip, then I'll close the rest with 1 inch. After closing it, I'll go ahead and hem the down part of the leg. Do the same for the 2, and then I will close up the center, and then I'll close up the center like this, all the way down and all the way down. Then we'll come and attach our band and the waist, attach our zipper, and our trousers is ready. I'll come back. So what is remaining now is to go ahead and join our band. To go ahead, I've cut the band already. Cut the band. So I'll go ahead and attach my band and do my zipper, and then I'll come and show us the final. So guys, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much for staying with us on Latest Fashion TV. Please don't forget to like, comment and share this video with your friends. And if you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead and hit the subscription button, and don't forget to on the notification bell so that you get notified each time we upload a new video. Till I see you once again in my next video, please take care of yourself. Bye.